Thank you for the organizer for inviting us, give us the opportunity to present XOS. This is my first time to the Vahouny Fiber Conference. I am really impressed about the way the meeting is conducted with a close interaction between academia, industry, and regulation. So that set this meeting apart from many other meetings I have attended, and I really enjoyed the learning experience here. Okay. I come here to present the case for including a new prebiotic Xylooligosaccharides. It's not that new, it's new to the US market. I want to present the case why I think the XOS should be defined as dietary fiber. So we visit this criteria that is the new proposed guideline for included as dietary fiber, non-digestible, soluble, or insoluble carbohydrates that can be intrinsic and intact in plants. Okay, so Xylooligosaccharides belong to the second category, which is isolated or synthetic non-digestible carbohydrate, which can be determined to have physiological benefits that are beneficial to human health. Okay, so I want to summarize the research that demonstrating that XOS meets this definition of dietary fiber. Why we propose XOS should be considered as a dietary fiber. There are 5 categories at least. Okay, there are more benefits that can be used, but the 5 proposed categories, we have evidence for the at least three categories. So XOS has a number of physiological health benefits, including improved gastrointestinal regularity, reduced blood cholesterol levels, and attenuated blood glycemic responses. So what is XOS, Xylooligosaccharides? The particular Xylooligosaccharides that we're bringing to the US market is manufactured via enzymatic hydrolysis of xylene from corn cob. So it is a oligosaccharides of xylose, basically from 2 to 7. Okay. The scientific evidence for health benefits of Xylooligosaccharides can be categorized into the following 3 categories. The first category, how to improve gastrointestinal regularity. Here, the table listed 6 human clinical studies that has been examining the gastrointestinal regularity using Xylooligosaccharides. So I will go through these studies briefly. Okay. The first study is a study published from United Kingdom in 2014. So in this study, it's a double-blind, placebo-controlled, randomized crossover study for 21 days with a 28-day washout period. And the source of XOS is SOS that manufactured by Shandong Longleaf. That's the type of XOS we carry. And in this particular study, it used 8 grams per day, and the individuals are 44 healthy adults. And there is the part of the study that related to the bowel movements was listed here. So after 21 days, XOS supplementation improved significantly the bowel movements. Okay, so you can see the bowel movements per day increased from 1.4 to 1.5 in XOS supplemented group. And the Bristol stool scale level also is increased, but is not reaching significance. A second study was a study from a Japanese research that published in 1997. As I explained that the XOS actually was used for Japan in Suntory's products for over 10 years and has received was received well in that market. Okay. In this study, what they used is XOS was administered at 0.4 gram per day for 4 weeks to 40 healthy adult women, and from 2 weeks before the ingestion to the 4 weeks after the XOS supplementation, and then 4 weeks following the supplementation, the frequency of stool frequency per week was measured. Okay, so at the beginning, the average level is about a little bit over 3. Okay, so that is the beginning of the study, and throughout the supplementation period, this is not a placebo-controlled, it's self-controlled from the beginning. So you can see that throughout the supplementation period, there is a significant increase of the stool frequency per week, increased from about 3 to about 6, okay? And it goes back after the supplementation. One thing I did not include here are the other parameters. For example, the quantity of the stool and some other parameters related to stool was also significantly increased. Actually, quantity of stool start to show the significance at week 2 in the study. The third study was a recent publication from South Korea group, university from South Korea, and it's published in 2015. So over here, they used 56 young women with constipation, and it's a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study, and they looked at the effects of XOS at 7% with 10 grams of sucrose supplementation on laxation after 6 weeks of administration. The subjects indicated number of stool frequency and many other clinical scores. Okay, here is the presentation of the stool frequency. Again, if you look at it, it's the number of times per week. Okay, so the pre-supplementation has averaged about, the black one is the sucrose, is the control. The gray one is the sucrose supplement with 7% XOS. Okay, so you can see at the starting, it's the average is about 2.28, 2.34. That is the weekly frequency. And throughout the supplementation at week 2, there is significant increase, especially in the XOS group of the frequency. Now it reaches 4 per week, and it continued to increase about 4.84 at week 4. Okay, so there is a significant increase of the stool frequency, and we also see that with people with a higher level of constipation, the effect is more faster and more significant. Study 4 is another Japanese study that was published in 2005. Okay, so again, the XOS is from Suntory, Japan. XOS were administered at 4.2 grams per day for 4 weeks to 29 pregnant women with severe constipation. So we recognize that this population has severe constipation, and which happens a lot during pregnancy. From 2 weeks before the ingestion to the 4 weeks after termination, again, the stool frequency, stool property were examined. So this particular study has no placebo. They all use the beginning of each individual as the comparison. So you can see that at the beginning, the average frequency per week is around 1. So that is a very severe case. And throughout the supplementation period, the relief started very quickly at the first week. Okay, so it increased to about 5 per week, and it continues throughout the supplementation. And also, this one, other properties of the stool, including the volume, the quality, also significantly increased in this population. So it again consistent with our observation that the more severe constipation people have, the more faster and significant relief this product will bring to the individual. Okay. Another study that actually is a unpublished study from the manufacturer that was done in 2011. In this case, they compared 50 IBS patients with constipation. And you can see that the grading or based on the clinical symptoms was evaluated. So they have a definition about mild, moderate, and severe degree of constipation, and that was scored at 1 and 2 and 3. So clinicians gave each individual a score based on the clinical symptoms. And after, so you can see here, this is the before, okay, the population, 50 people, and there are 16 of them is in the mild case, and 29 is at the moderate, and 5 is at a severe case of constipation, IBS. And when we supplemented, when the XOS was given to this population, and at 1.4 gram per day for 2 weeks, at the daily dosage, and the individuals was assessed by the doctors for the effectiveness. And you can see 15 out of 16 in the mild group had a significant improvement, and 27 out of moderate had significant improvement, and 2 out of 5 had significant improvement. And the effective rate sits at 93, 93, and 40. So it's quite effective. And again, this population is, we recognize, is IBS patients. Okay, so those are the evidences that I summarized to support a beneficial role for XOS in terms of regulatory benefits. And the second part, I want to present the evidence that XOX supplementation can have a blood cholesterol lowering effect. Okay. The first study I want to show here is a 2008 study, and this is in the type 2 diabetes study. It's a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, used 4 gram per day XOS or placebo, and it was used for 8 weeks. It's a parallel design. And this study was done in 26 Taiwanese with type 2 diabetes. Again, the product is the XOS from Suntory. So if you can look at the data here, this is a placebo, 12 of them, and this is XOS, 14 of them. You can see there's a significant change, okay, of the total cholesterol levels, LDL cholesterol levels, oxidized LDL levels, and apolipoprotein levels. And they all reach significance between placebo and XOS group. So the research conclude that XOS supplementation for 8 weeks significantly decreased serum concentration of total cholesterol from 8.2 from 206 down to 167 LDL cholesterol and oxidized LDL and apolipoprotein B. A second study actually is the same study that I presented earlier. It's from the United Kingdom. So what they did in this study, they not only measured microbiome, which I'm not going to present here too much, and they measured the frequency, and they also measured the cholesterol change. Okay, so here is their data related to the cholesterol change. Okay, so they have seen a significant change of HDL cholesterol versus the control. The maltodextrin is as the control. So pretty much the normal people had a decrease in HDL, and the XOS group maintained the HDL, and they showed a differences between the placebo groups. And also the ratio of total cholesterol, HDL cholesterol, was also favorably changed. Okay. The third study related to cholesterol change was done in Korea, South Korea, in 2007. So this is a 2-dosage study. One dosage is 1.5 gram per day XOS. The other dosage is 2.8 per day XOS. Okay. The study was in healthy women, and the duration of the study was 28 days. And we can see that in this study, we can see a significant change here. Okay, so this figure is the total lipid, cholesterol, triglyceride, number C, and the number D is glucose. So we can see a significant change at 2.8 gram per day on the total cholesterol, as well as the triglycerides and the glucose. Okay, so the last part I want to present the evidence for health benefits of XOS on reduction of blood glucose concentration or attenuation of blood glycemic responses.
Sorry, but can you conclude because you
Time
ran
is
out
here.
of time.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you very much.
So the glycemic index, there are 4 publications related to how the XOS can reduce the glycemic index. Okay, so I will conclude that we believe that Xylooligosaccharides meets this definition of dietary fiber under the guidance. And one thing I want to bring to you attention is that we have seen a beneficial effects of XOS, and the mechanism of it really comes from the change of the microbiome. Okay, and the microbiome has been examined in all these studies, and for most of them showed a significant change. So I summarized 2 of the studies here that are used a very low dosage to show a significant change of bifidobacteria in healthy populations. And also, very interestingly, is that Xylooligosaccharides has been shown to promote mostly longer chain of short-chain fatty acids, especially butyric acid production. Okay, so that concludes my presentation and my summary. Thank you.
Thank you very much.